Spending the full day with Alex here. Alex is driven through to Glasgow, our video guy. He's going to take you around a couple of projects and stuff like that, show you what you're up to. So this is a wee one bed in Gorebridge that we've done for a client. Brand new, inside, full internal refurb. I think I was doing about 7 refurbs in the one go on this one. So it wasn't without its stresses, plastering issues, all that kind of shit that comes with property. But we've done quite a good job of it, to be fair. So it's only 32 square meters, which is like tiny. I was just saying to Alex there, I don't even know if you could use the toilet. I mean, look at that. It's so small. But the bathroom, David always slags me for this. But I always sometimes use wet wall in my projects for bathrooms, because like when you're doing a flip, a lot of the time you've got to think about the end user. And this one's, like, as I said, tiny wee flat, top floor, Gorgie, sort of lower end of the market in Edinburgh. So there's no point putting big, massive, fancy tiles and golden taps and stuff like that in it. So David always slags me for using wet wall, but I actually think it looks quite good. And what we've done in the bathroom is just put a mirror behind the toilet, and that way it's just kind of opened the space up, because it is really quite narrow, but it's quite common in these flats. So it's like a lounge diner, brand new kitchen. God knows how big this room is, but it's not massive, but it's worked out really well for the buyer because they're going to rent this. I think if someone was living in it themselves, unless it was a single person, it might be quite challenging, but I think we've done a decent job of it, so it'll be a great rental. So this should probably get about £1,000 a month, I think. So it'll be a decent enough yield for a pretty good location in Edinburgh. And then obviously the furniture we've got in, people always ask about this, like, do you buy the furniture yourself and stuff like that? Clueless, wouldn't even know where to start. So I actually just moved flat last week, and Gillian, shout out to Gillian McCluskey, she's going to do the furniture in my new flat as well, just because literally don't know where to start. So this is staging, so you rent the furniture for 6 weeks. They come in, they set it all up, they do mood boards and stuff like that, and then after the 6 weeks they take it away and you don't need to think about it. So I done a house in Selkirk in the Borders a couple of years ago. We had like a tiny wee 3rd bedroom. It was a 3-bedroom house, and when I looked at it I was like, I don't even think you could get a single bed in here. But actually, once we'd done the staging, there was a single bed and there was a unit and there was a lamp and stuff like that. So it just totally brings the space to life. So if you're selling stuff, I'll always get it staged, like, for sure. So to be fair, the bedroom's actually like a decent enough size. Like, there's a wee bit of space up the back there. But like, imagine this room was just what it was without the furniture and stuff in it. It would just look so like dull. So the furniture just totally brings it to life. But it's a decent enough flat. It'll definitely be a good rental unit. So I'm looking forward to managing this one on behalf of the buyer as well. So it's good. We went for the black doors just to make it a bit different. Like, I always go with the same colours in everything I do. So it's always like white woodwork. I think this is called brushed cotton on the walls. These kind of creamy carpets. And then the last couple that I've done, we've just put these black accents in it. So like, we've got black doors in here, black taps, black shower, things like that, just to make it a wee bit more kind of modern, rather than just like magnolia walls and stuff like that some people do. You know, when I showed the buyer around, there was no electric. See, one thing that I'm useless at, mate, is keys. Can never get in anywhere, and fucking utility meters. Like, I just can never work them. So when the buyer actually came round, they were round with the torches and stuff like that. So the flat's quite light, but this wee toilet's dark as anything. So I was like, no, it is nice, like, I promise it is nice. And she was like, yeah. But yeah, so we've got the electricity on now for the surveyor, so fingers crossed. Right, it's good to go. Let's go. Hi mate, so I would be asking, first of all, why it's been on the market so long, if they've had any previous offers before. I would also be having a wee look to see what they paid for it, just out of interest. And then you're totally right, you can just ask them why it's been on the market, you know, see if there's any issues in the home report and just kind of gauge it from there, mate. Well, 50 grand in the one street, mate, in the first 2 months of this year. That's a tagline for you, innit? I'm sitting in Birdie House in Edinburgh. It's like a little estate near Straighton Retail Park. This street that we're on now has made me and my funding partner £50,000 in the first 2 months of this year. So I'm going to show you the 2 properties. I'm hoping we can get into one of them and take you around, show you what we've done and how we structured it. This is the first one here. We bought this property in December last year. It was like 6 months it was ongoing with the seller. It was tenanted. The seller bought it for like £30,000 like 10 years ago, just wanted a quick sale, didn't want the hassle. So we bought it for 100. The same day that we bought it, I listed it through the estate agency and we got a buyer. So we bought it for 100 and we sold it for 157,000, which made us, I think, 47.5 grand net profit in the space of 5 weeks. So that was pretty good going. We actually done a delayed completion on this where we signed the missives, so we were locked in because we didn't want to lose it. And then we completed 7 days after the tenant moved out. And then that way, you know, we were locked in, the seller couldn't pull out, but at the same time, we didn't buy it with the tenant in situ. So this was a straight trade deal, no refurb, no money spent, just bought it and then sold it 5 weeks and 2 days later. And that's me doing that stupid hand thing again. All these houses in this estate are all non-traditional build, so this one's steel framed. So when we bought this, our solicitor was saying, you know, I don't think you guys should buy this. It's going to be really difficult to sell because of the build type, because you can't get mortgages on some of them. So I was like, the solicitor, no, it'll be fine. It was worth 160,000 when we bought it, so it was like a 37% discount or something like that. So I says, look, it'll be fine. And then sure enough, we had an offer on it literally the next day. So I sent it over to my solicitor, Lindsay, and I was like, you know, you said not to buy this, and we sold it the same day. So it was a good laugh, like, but this was the first one I'd ever bought that was non-traditional. So I was a little bit worried about it, but it just goes to show if you take a risk, quite often it does pay off. So the next one's just around the corner. So we'll take a spin round here. I'll show you. It's just been renovated. And then we'll go back to this one because I think the builder's maybe living in that one just now. Try and get the key and then we'll bounce in and see what the guys have done to it. I wasn't involved in this refurb at all. It'll be interesting to see what they've kind of done with it. And it was the same buyer that bought the two of them. So we literally sold it to, this is actually quite a good story. So we sold this one and then the guy bought it 5 weeks later for cash. It was over Christmas as well, so it was good to get it done in that time frame. And then he said to me, look, if you've got any other properties in this area, let me know and I'll buy it. And actually I got this lead through, these both came through my Facebook advertising. I got this lead through like 6 months ago for this one round the corner, and there was a tenant in this one as well. And just on the off chance, I phoned the woman that owned it that I had the lead for, and she says, oh yeah, the tenant's just moved out last week. Do you want to come see it? I was like, yeah, no problem. So I'd done a deal with her, structured it in a really clever way, and then I was coming to get her to sign the contract, and she says, oh no, sorry, the solicitor that was dealing with the whatever estate or something like that it was in is going to put it on the market for me. And I was like, oh, I've just lost this deal because properties in this area sell like so fast. And luckily I knew the estate agent, so I just phoned her up and we still managed to do a deal. So we made 47.5 grand on this one in 5 weeks. And then this one round the corner was a £4,000 sourcing fee from my client. So he's based in London and he's looking for any more if anyone's got some. We'll take a wee spin round. So I don't think there'll be anybody in, and there's absolutely no way that skip's getting lifted. Like, see if you put it over the top at all, they just refuse to take them. I think he's maybe staying in the other one. So it just goes to show you, like, sometimes you get mad lucky. Like, we put this on the market through the estate agency the same day we sold it. The buyer says, have you got any more? And then I just joined the dots in my head, and then this one came up and we just sold them to this one as well. So in January and February we made over 50 grand for this one street, which was pretty good going, I would say. This is actually going to be rented by Mears Group. So this one here, the guy bought it for 125 grand. I don't know how much he spent on the refurb, but it's going to be rented to Mears, which is like asylum seeker contract. So this will rent for £1,645 a month for 5 years, guaranteed with no fees. So 1,645 from 125 grand purchase price is a pretty good yield, especially in Edinburgh. So it's a good result. Although, interestingly, the one round the corner, Mears Group wouldn't take, even though they're literally like a stone's throw away from each other. They accepted this one, but rejected that one, so fuck knows how that works. So see if we can get a key for this one and we'll take a wee spin round. I don't even know if the guy's still here. So the client's from London and he actually flew his builder up from London, let him stay in the property around the corner while he was refurbing that one, because the one we sold him that we bought didn't need any work done to it. But yeah, the guys came up from London, so I don't know if he's still here. If you think about the other flat we were in, that was 165 grand, and these 3-bed semi-detached houses are like 160, or that one was 125. So it just shows you like the location in Edinburgh can change so much. Don't think our boy's in, so that'll need to do us. when I first came out to see this one, I didn't realise it was non-standard construction, and I was a bit worried about it. But then, like I said, like sometimes you just get pure lucky. Like to put it on the market the same day, and then to literally have a verbal offer on it that night. I was sitting at home having my tea, and the guy phoned through Rightmove. I was like, yeah, I think that'll be acceptable, mate. 57 grand more than what we paid for it. So just checked out a couple of projects in Edinburgh there. We're just on my way down to Galashiels where my office is. I've got a wee refurb going on for a client down there, and then we'll jump into the office and I'll get caught up with some emails and stuff like that. Exciting. Keys stuck in the doors, what's happening?
Where are we?
This is Gorebridge, mate. Oh, fucking hell. Right, we'll try that here. This is Gorebridge. I actually just doesn't live down the road there. I just moved last week. So this was one of my other clients' properties. He's moved abroad, the tenants moved out, and then I came to view it and then sent the photos and stuff to another client, and he just bought it right away. So it's a 2-bed semi-detached property in Gorebridge, which is like Midlothian. So we're just on my way to my office. I thought we'd just jump in here and check it out, see what's going on, because this one is going to be let by my letting company. So we've just agreed a tenant for it today. So the purchase price was 136,000 and it's just been rent for £1,200 a month. So really, really good result for the client. So with these buy-to-let refurbs, we like to keep them quite simple. So we always do like whitewash walls, dark grey carpets throughout. The kitchen in this one's actually quite nice. And the bathroom's pretty decent as well. So there's a couple of wee snagging bits to sort. Need to get the grass cut and then the waste uplifted, a wee clean, and then the tenant will move in for £1,200 a month, which is pretty strong in terms of rental yield. So it should be a good one for the client. It's a good repeat client of mine, so it's good to get him a good deal like this. He was looking for something closer to Edinburgh. So when this one came up, I just sent it straight to him, and then boom, that was the deal done in maybe the space of half an hour or something like that, which is always good. So sometimes, like I was saying before in that Birdie House one, sometimes it's just dead simple. Someone passes you a property, you've already got a buyer lined up, you send over a deal package and some photos and a video, and then they buy it. So this one was a £3,000 sourcing fee for the space of, I don't know, maybe an hour's work, 2 hours work, something like that, which is quite good. And I don't charge this client anything for the project management because he's a really good client. And now we'll get the rental on it as well. So our management fee's 10% of the monthly rent. So source the property, manage the full refurbishment, which is never without its challenges, and then now we'll let it on the back end. So happy days. Happy days, unless you get the fucking key stuck in the door, obviously, and then I don't know what's gonna go on. I'm probably worse than keys. Keys and utility companies, I can't actually believe it. So it's 2 double bedrooms up here. You might recognise the wet wall from the last property. So I was actually away on holiday when this one was getting finished. So it was a bit stressful trying to manage painters and stuff like that, but we managed to get there in the end. So I'll let you have a wee nosy in there. So this is it. So it's a really good area, this street. But £1,200 a month rental's fantastic. Like I think it was probably rented for like £700 before to a long-term tenant. So we've came in, new kitchen, new bathroom, new heating system, paint, flooring, and now we've managed to get up to £1,200. So it's a good result. I get this fucking key out. Boom. Right. Result. Let's go. Hi mate. No bad, pal, you? We're in sunny Galashiels today, which is where my office is. This is a wee flat here that we're renovating for a client. It was on the market currently, couldn't sell it, and then we're renovating it, and now he's going to rent it through my letting company. So come inside, we'll take a wee look. It's a bit of a building site just now. Pretty basic refurb. I think this is costing about 12,000–13,000, so it's not like super going extreme. This is a 3-bedroom flat in Galashiels the guys had for a wee while. The painters have made a start in here, stripping it and whatnot. Looks like we're gonna have to get a bit of plastering done. From here, this is like this old wall, so this is like laughing plaster, which is a nightmare to deal with, so we'll see what happens. But pretty good one this, so it's 3 bedrooms. I think it'll probably get about £750 a month in rent, which is pretty good in Galashiels. This was a referral from someone else, and it's a new client that, as I say, we're going to manage the rental for them. So it should be a nice flat when it's done. So we're probably 2-3 weeks away from it being done, I would say. Hopefully a wee bit sooner, and then we can get it on the rental market for them and start earning money. This is a buy-to-let investment, so sometimes you realise that you don't have to go crazy high spec. This wasn't in the worst condition before, it was a previous rental. So what we've done here is we've changed the splashback in the kitchen, pardon me, to make it fit with the style of the worktops and things like that, so it's nice and fresh. We've put a new bathroom in, so it's wet wall in the bathroom, and then it's literally just paint and flooring. There was a kind of sliding door here, so we took that off. It's got new facings on it, which look a bit better. I always think that when you come into a job like this, it looks like it stays the same for so many weeks, and then all of a sudden the painter will finish and the carpet goes down, and then boom, you're done. So it's quite a nice flat, this actually, with like the cornice and stuff like that. It's some quite nice original features. Wee fireplace there, which is boarded up. So it'll be good once it's done. The rental market in Galashiels is absolutely red hot. So I think if we put this on the market, once it's done up, we'll get probably 20-30 inquiries, and then it'll just be a case of picking the best tenant and getting it rented out. So should be a good one. One of the problems you find with these old buildings is once you start stripping everything off, quite often like the plaster will come away with it, the old plaster. So this is lath and plaster. So we didn't budget anything to plaster these walls. We thought the paper was just going to come off and we'd just line it and paint it. So what we're going to have to do now is plaster all this, which is a wee bit of a delay in it. Fair enough, it'll be a better finish, but these are just the things that pop up during refurbishments. Unfortunately, there's no way to know until you start ripping things up, and thankfully it's not going to be too much of an extra cost or delay for the client. It's super easy. One of the things that I do, which is quite helpful, is I've got 2 different trades teams. Half of my work is up the road, like Edinburgh and the Lothians, and then half of my work is here in the borders. So just utilising different teams of people for the different areas works really well, and it means you can be running a lot of jobs at the same time with the same groups of guys without having to pull in new people and stuff like that. We're just going to get a bit of lunch here in sunny Galashiels. It's Alex's first time. I'm going to treat him to an Italian meal, and then we'll go and get some phone calls and stuff like that done in the office. Try and phone some leads, will we?
Speak to you
right, no problem. Speak to you then. Cheers, my friend.
Thank you.
Bye, bye, bye. Got you, man. Got you. No problem.
No.
I'll let you know. Cheers, man. Take care. Bye, 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 bye. So that was actually quite a funny one. I think we sold it last year, and then the buyer had to sell his house, and that was taking too long, so the seller pulled out. And then the buyer's solicitor got back in touch like 6 months later and said, look, my buyer sold this house now, are you interested in selling? And then went back to the seller and said, yep, no problem. So we managed to get it done. So it's a little, I think it was a 3-bed flat in Peebles, which we managed to get above home report for. So happy days, good result all round. Bye, bye. So you can see why I wasn't really overly keen. To be fair, I've had that lead for probably about a year, and I've got a buyer in place that ready to buy, that wants to buy it, and they just need to be rehoused by the council. Here's the solicitor on the phone. Hello, your call tomorrow, my friend.
But it doesn't look the same as what it looks like on the internet because it's just a refurb.
Okay, got you. Cool.
But smashing. I look forward to speaking to you tomorrow.
Right, no problem. Speak to you then. Cheers, my friend.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye, bye, bye. So I don't mind that at all. I always like to take some details from sellers just so I know what I'm walking into when I phone them back tomorrow. So I'll just reschedule that for tomorrow, leave a wee note on the system, and then this will send me an automatic reminder, which is quite nice. And the thing about Edinburgh properties is you don't necessarily need a big discount on it, but they're quite good sellers for the estate agency. So even if this guy can't take a discount, or he's just said it's done a refurb, so it's going to be in good condition, that's prime estate agency listing. So even if we can't do anything in terms of investment wise, we can still put it on the market through the estate agency, which is good. Last week I made £18,000 through the sourcing company, which was pretty decent going. This week, in terms of revenue, the sourcing fee for the deal in Hoyt today will be £3,000 and the estate agency fee will be £2,000, both plus VAT. And then tomorrow it was a £4,000 sourcing fee, so a pretty steady week in the tank. But a good week yesterday as well. I sold a little shop round the corner, which will maybe pass on the way out, which was quite a good one to repeat clients. So it's all good. It's all good. Busy. Just about to jump on a call with one of our 2-to-1 mentoring clients. So as part of Property Sourcing Network, we do kind of smaller, individual, more structured mentoring. The results we've been getting off the back of it have been amazing. So let's dive into this call and see what we can come up with, for sure. And the other thing is, as long as we supply the buyer with all the information about the damp and stuff like that, it's, you know, you've got a specialist to look at it. There's nothing really else we can do. We've got quotes and that. We could, you know, if the buyer was interested, you could do an offer subject to a roofer going out, or, you know, something like that. Do you know what I mean? So you can be as creative as you want with these kind of things. Right. Yeah, someone's offered 85 and you're away to offer 80. You know, it's probably not going to get accepted because they've already knocked back 85. But
I like the offer details, but that's what I've seen, you know.
Yeah, that's interesting. I would just try and get it out of them either way. Just say, look, you know, has there been any offers on it? Either has, well, you know, has it been close to home report? Oh no, it's not been close to home report. Oh well, has it been more than? I was thinking about offering 80. Has it been more than that? And then boom. Do you know what I mean? Just try and squeeze it out of them in a different way without directly asking. We just know we're dialed in, and also we'll get a couple of dates sent over to you about a meet up and stuff like that, and we'll get cracking with that as well, man.
Right, bro. Thank you very much.
Excellent, mate. Right, anything you need, let me know.
No worries. Thank
Legend, bro. Cheers. This has been a day in the life of a property business owner. So the plan for the rest of today is go home, drop Alex off, and then I'll be working probably for the next couple of hours, I would say. I've got podcast stuff to do for tomorrow. You know, if you're enjoying the content that we're putting out, I would definitely urge you to follow us on Instagram as well. It's Property Sourcing Network. I would check us out if you want to join the community. There's a really low cost way of educating yourself on property, and come and work with us a bit closer, and I'll see you guys soon.